What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Sector for Nerds. I'm Ryan Brower, and today we are here to talk about Star Wars Visions Episode 6, T0-B1. But before we do that, you guys, make sure you guys like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If this is your first time watching, I like to do a lot of reaction videos to fan-made Star Wars content, whether that's fan films or tribute videos, and I also like to do a lot of discussions on the latest episodes that appear on Disney Plus from both Star Wars and Marvel. So please, I encourage you guys to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It's free, it doesn't cost you anything, and it really helps to support my channel. While I don't think this episode was terribly bad, I don't think there was anything really that good about it either. Now, don't get me wrong, there were definitely some interesting things about this episode, but once this episode ended, I was like, alright, this is a episode, I guess. At first, I thought they were on Tatooine, but I don't think that that was the case. When the kid ended up going into the room with the cave drawings, I was like, okay, this is interesting, because there were drawings of X-Wings, TIE Fighters, Stormtroopers, Imperial Walkers. There were some saber battles. One of the people had 4 sabers, so I'm wondering if that was supposed to be Grievous. And then there was a drawing that reminded me a lot of the World Between Worlds drawings in Star Wars Rebels. It's also the same type of symbols that are in the Ahsoka logo for the Ahsoka show. Now, that may not have been what it was referring to, but it very much looked like that to me. We find out that T0-B1 wants to be a Jedi, and of course the professor obviously being like, hey, you gotta focus on the present. But then when he finally does send him off to go look for a kyber crystal, and when he says like, okay, you can do this, he goes out in a speeder that looked a lot like a baby carriage. Like the one that Baby Yoda was always in. I thought the twin moons was funny because, you know, twin suns, twin moves, lol, you know. When we got the Star Destroyer, I was like, okay, wait a second, what's this? And then they show someone on the ship, and I'm like, wait, who's that? I mean, I figured it wasn't Darth Vader, but I'm just sitting there like, okay, hold up. We find out that the professor was a Jedi, and then we also hear him say, I'm one with the Force and the Force is with me, when he goes out to confront the dark side. It was a sad moment when Toby, and I don't know at what point they started calling him Toby, but it was very sad when he went out and saw that his professor had died, or I guess his master, and so then he decided that he wanted to live up to what the professor, finish what the professor started, and that's to spread land across the galaxy. I was kind of like, oh no, but dude, you gotta be a Jedi, man, like, go for what you're dreaming, you know what I'm saying? Like, I get you wanna, you know, honor his legacy, but like, come on now. But fortunately he did. He ends up getting the lightsaber, but then the Sith ends up coming back, or whoever it was, whether it was an Inquisitor or it was a Sith. I did find it interesting when we heard the professor say via like a Force ghost, don't be afraid, because that's something that George Lucas would always say to people, is don't be afraid. Toby was knighted by the professor as well, so I'm like, all right, that was interesting. Though, I mean, at the same time, it's like, okay, but this guy hasn't received like the initial Jedi training and stuff. But then when I look at it, and it's like, okay, but pretty much anything after Revenge of the Sith, whoever becomes a Jedi isn't gonna receive formal training just because there's no longer an order. So I'm a little more lenient in that respect. And Toby ends up beating this Sith as well. Now, he gets some help from his droid friends because his arm gets cut off, and then one of the droids like goes onto his back and gives him like a booster, almost like an Iron Man type situation, which was cool. And the episode ends with the land growing on the planet, and then them leaving, being like, we're gonna go explore other planets. So like I said, you guys, this was a episode. I mean, I don't know if there was anything like that great about it to where I'd be like, oh, this is just as good as The Village Bride or The Ninth Jedi, but I don't think it was as terrible as the Twins episode. This one at least made some sort of sense. But what did you guys think of this episode? Be sure to let me know in the comments below. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, share this video around as it really helps support the channel, and I will see you guys next time.